memory of that bone-chilling day is etched into my mind like a nightmare I can't escape. It was an unusually misty afternoon when a group of us, brimming with a mix of excitement and trepidation, set out to explore the infamous abandoned Westbrook Mill. The mill stood on the outskirts of town, a colossal relic of a forgotten industrial era, its towering silhouette cloaked in a shroud of mystery. We parked our cars at a safe distance and walked towards the mill. The air was damp and carried an earthy, ancient scent that seemed to cling to the fabric of our clothes. The overgrown path leading to the entrance was a maze of tangled vines and prickly bushes, as if nature itself was trying to reclaim the mill from the clutches of time. The first sight of the mill sent an involuntary shiver down my spine. Its exterior was a mosaic of decay, shattered windows like the vacant eyes of a phantom, faded bricks telling stories of years gone by, and ivy creeping up the walls like a silent witness to its decline. Swallowing hard, we pushed open the heavy, rusted door that let out a haunting creak, as if the mill itself was protesting our intrusion. Stepping inside, the temperature seemed to plummet, and a suffocating mustiness engulfed us. Our flashlight beams cut through the thick dust, revealing a cavernous space that was both awe-inspiring and eerie. The remnants of a once thriving industry lay frozen in time, rusted machinery with gears that seemed to have ceased turning mid-task, and broken conveyor belts like the bony remains of some prehistoric creature. The atmosphere was heavy with silence, broken only by the shuffle of our own footsteps and the distant hoot of an owl. As we ventured deeper, strange graffiti adorned the walls, an unsettling combination of vibrant colors and disturbing imagery. But the feeling that we weren't alone gnawed at the edges of our consciousness. It was as if the mill itself was holding its breath, waiting. A sudden clatter echoed from above, and we all instinctively turned our gazes upward. Dust rained down from the rafters as a pigeon took flight, its wings beating frantically against the stillness. Nervous laughter erupted from our group, a feeble attempt to shake off the unease that clung to us like a second skin. Deeper still, we stumbled upon what appeared to be an office, the remnants of paperwork strewn across a desk, frozen in time. A calendar on the wall, its pages yellowed and curled, indicated a date from decades ago. It was as if the very essence of the past was seeping from the walls, enveloping us in its embrace. And then, just as we were about to call it quits, came the incident that would forever haunt my dreams. In a distant corner, our flashlights caught a glimpse of movement, a fleeting shadow that darted out of view. Heart pounding, I called out, thinking it was one of our own playing a prank. But my words were met with silence, the weight of the silence intensifying the sense of dread. Barely able to control the quiver in my voice, I suggested we leave. Panic began to rise within me, gnawing at my sanity. But the exit seemed elusive, as if the mill itself had rearranged its layout to ensnare us. The once familiar corridors now twisted and turned in on themselves, and a cold sweat drenched my back as the minutes stretched into what felt like an eternity. At long last, a glimmer of light emerged. The exit. We stumbled out into the fading daylight, gasping for air as if we had narrowly escaped a malevolent force that had tried to claim us. The weight of the mill's history, its secrets and shadows, clung to us like a sinister specter. The day we decided to explore the abandoned Greenwood Hospital is forever seared into my memory, each detail etched with a chilling clarity that refuses to fade. The hospital, nestled at the edge of town, had become the stuff of local legends, a place whispered about in hushed tones, its reputation steeped in darkness and dread. As we approached the looming structure, a thick fog clung to the air, casting an eerie pall over the scene. The hospital's once white facade was now a patchwork of peeling paint and cracked windows, the glass murky with age. Ivy crawled up the walls like a silent sentinel, as if nature itself was trying to keep its secrets hidden. The rusty swing set in the overgrown courtyard swayed gently in the breeze, each creaking motion a reminder of the emptiness that now pervaded the place. Stepping through the broken entrance, a blast of musty air enveloped us, tinged with the scent of decay and dampness. Our flashlight's feeble beams barely penetrated the darkness, casting eerie shadows that danced and flickered on the walls. The first steps echoed like a heartbeat in the silence, each footfall a reminder of our vulnerability in this desolate place. The hallway stretched before us, a seemingly endless corridor of peeling wallpaper and discarded debris. Faint whispers seemed to drift through the air, so soft that I questioned if they were merely figments of my imagination. Goosebumps prickled on my skin, a visceral reaction to the growing unease that knotted in my gut. As we ventured deeper, we encountered rooms frozen in time, each a macabre tableau of the hospital's former life. An operating theater with a rusted gurney, a stark reminder of the medical procedures that once took place there. A children's ward with tattered toys scattered on the floor, their vacant stares haunting in the dim light. It was as if the very essence of the hospital's history clung to the air, an imprint of the suffering and pain that had transpired within these walls. But it was the basement that held the true heart of darkness. The air grew heavier, suffocating, as we descended rickety stairs that seemed to protest with each step. The flickering light from our flashlights revealed a labyrinth of narrow corridors, the walls damp and glistening with an otherworldly sheen. The distant sound of dripping water echoed like a sinister heartbeat, a reminder that we were deep within the bowels of the earth. And then, as we turned a corner, we were confronted with a sight that froze our blood. The walls were lined with rusted cages, some still partially intact, others broken and twisted as if something had burst forth from within. The air grew frigid, a stark contrast to the sweat that beaded on our foreheads. A muffled guttural growl seemed to reverberate through the space, and the very walls seemed to tremble in response. With hearts pounding, we fled the basement, the feeling of malevolence propelling us forward. But the corridors seemed to stretch and twist, leading us in circles as panic clawed at the edges of our sanity. Time lost all meaning as we stumbled through the labyrinthine passages, the boundary between reality and nightmare blurring into a nightmarish tapestry. Finally, a dim light ahead signaled the exit, and we burst forth from the hospital, gasping for air as if we had narrowly escaped a malevolent force that had sought to consume us. The weight of the hospital's history, its horrors and secrets, clung to us like a curse. The Greenwood Hospital remains a place of nightmares in my mind.